Levels in tennis. Really, there are only three levels in tennis. There's three basic levels in tennis. I mean, I've heard this so many times that, oh, there's so many levels. The level just keeps that what they're talking. Well, I'm going to get into what that really means, but really there's three basic levels in tennis. There's high level, there's middle level, and there's low level. Okay? So, and all three levels can play great tennis. All three levels can play topspin. All three levels can play backspin. All three levels can, what most people perceive as technique, can have great technique. All three levels, and I'm gonna get into that as well. So let's start with high level. High level is basically, and these terms are relative. I'm just using them. High level, middle level, low level. Really, it's one, two, three. Let's keep it simple. High level, we're talking about athletic people that are explosive. They have what you might call power. They're very coordinated. They're fast. They're strong. These and some low levels can get strong, middle levels can get strong, etc. There's some of these things that low level and middle level can do, but then we're really looking at the things that the low level and the middle level cannot do. They're born that way. There's nothing you can do about it. And that's what I'm looking for in the high level. Just one, if you're high level, if you're in that group we call super athletic or athletic, if you're in that high level, you can compete with anyone in the world. You can play Djokovic, you can play Sinner, you can play Nadal, Federer. I don't care it doesn't matter. So you can look at me. I consider myself high level. I can play with those guys. Those guys would be happy to play with me. Basically what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that to sound egotistical. I'm trying to make it extreme so you understand it. It's not about winning. This isn't about winning. It's about, would those guys be able to practice with me? Would they be happy, content practicing with me, hitting with me, etc. And you see this on tour. There's guys on. I might just dropped a video where there was Golfan was hitting with someone, and there's a comment like about why is this guy hitting with him? Why would he even hit with him? He's trash, etc. He's good enough. He's on that high level. Golfan is happy to use him, if that's even what he was doing, as a practice partner. So that's what I mean by high level. Now, middle level, chances are you lack speed. From an inborn perspective, you lack speed. You're never going to be that explosive. You're never going to be fast enough. Doesn't matter how much you train. You could still, I would say middle level, you could still play with high level, but they're going to, because you lack that explosiveness. And you see this all the time when people might say, you might have a higher level guy say, I don't want to hit with him because he might be an older guy, etc. Because he's not this or he's not fast enough, he doesn't hit hard enough. That's what they mean. Middle level could be an example of a middle level, essential tennis. That guy that runs essential tennis, he's middle level. If you watch him hit, again, looks good. This is the thing where the camera tricks you too. Like he looks good. As I said, you can have good technique, you can look good, but he doesn't have some of the attributes that a high level athlete would have from an inborn perspective. It's never going to happen. Low level. I've seen I played with a guy who's 90 years old from France, came to my club. Purest topspin. If you hit the ball right to him, purest topspin you ever hit. But of course, he's 90 years old. He could have been high level when he was younger. I don't know, but that's an example of he's at this point in time. He's low level because of his age, but he could still hit good topspin. Low level might be a lot of people that start later in life that have no athletic background. They're not athletes. They're not born fast, and they're not born super with good coordination or special coordination, whatever you want to call it, abilities. But they can still, if you hit the ball slow enough and they play enough tennis and they're trained properly, that's the key. If you hit the ball slow enough, that's what I talk about with the balls, with quick start, with the little kids. If you slow it down enough, they can look good too. They can play great tennis, and that's what it's all about. If you slow it down enough, they can learn to play great tennis, and there's nothing wrong with that. And this is where a lot of people aren't don't really see it that way. You come out, you're a low level, you come out and you hit with your husband or your wife who's really good, or your father or mother, whatever, and they're just hitting too hard for you. And that's why you can't play great tennis, because they're not playing the target-oriented approach that I talk about, and they don't understand this. Everyone can play great tennis. So the low level, really, we shouldn't even call it low level. 1, 2, 3. This is something that you're born with. There's nothing you can do about it. This is what we're talking about here. Generally speaking, 1, 2, 3. And then, of course, everyone would say, well, there's all kinds of levels in between. So let's go back to the high level. You have Djokovic, Sinner, and it's Federer, etc. The highest level, we think of UTR, 14, 15 UTR, and the way we try to quantify this idea of levels when it comes to winning a tennis match. And this could be that we could say this is true, but what I want to mention is, if you put, this is the last thing I'm going to say, if you put the high level player, if you put me in a situation of a Djokovic, if I was playing tennis since I was 7 years old, or around there, etc., in that situation where I wanted to be pro, and I was around the right people, and I was playing 70 tournament matches a year for a number of years, going pro at 15, etc., the high level player would have the same potential opportunity as these guys. And that's the main point I want to mention. It would be no different. The problem is, most high level players didn't have that opportunity. They weren't put in that situation. So you got to think a little bit outside the box. If they were, the number one, the player that plays Division I college somewhere, if they were potentially, we don't know this because they weren't in that situation. If they were in that situation, they could potentially be top 10 in the world too. And when we look at the middle level player, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if they were in that situation. They would never, even if you put them in that situation, they might surprise you, and they might somehow magically make it to 500, with a lot of money. And you think of the Diego Schwartzman, I wouldn't call him middle level, but even a high level, with a guy that size, and what he had the years it took to break into the top 100. Just so, of course, there's some exceptions like that, but generally speaking, you put this high level athlete in that situation, they could be top 100 in the world too. You put the middle level in that situation, never going to happen. Low level, absolutely would quit the first week they even tried. So, hope you enjoy this. 3 levels in tennis. That's it. Nothing more.